You're tuning in to Financial Fitness Northwest live on 1150 KKNW, where we help you navigate the mortgage and real estate market with expert advice from knowledgeable and trustworthy industry professionals. And we are so happy to have as our second guest in studio, Garth Ward and Austin Homolka from Avenue Properties. And Austin and Garth are the second highest producing residential real estate team in the state of Washington under the age of 25. Woo!
Let's do it.
Thank you.
They provide a genuine service that helps people enhance their lives. They're in it for the long haul and believe in building long-lasting relationships. Welcome, guys.
Thank you. And how do you say my last name again?
I got it. It's Homolka.
Homolka. There you go. There it is. Nice.
Just like a mocha with a little
it.
hoe.
There you go.
Okay. Well, thank you guys for coming in studio. And
That's awesome. We'll let that one slide.
yeah,
This
we
time
have to because
only.
we're live. So just keep going. So, so you guys are here to talk to us today about how to accurately market and advertise your home, and also you're going to talk about increasing discoverability in Asian markets as well, right? So that's pretty interesting.
Yeah, so I guess to get things started, so how do you guys work with sellers to properly price their home in this market with the values going up so dramatically?
You know, that's always a really important question, not just for enhancing the discoverability of a property, but also to make sure that it gets in front of the people, right? Because the market that we're in isn't just that you can throw it on and sell it in a minute. You want to get the highest value you can.
Absolutely.
So you can either move up or step down. You really want to capitalize on your investment. So what happens is if I see a property and I see that, I can easily sell this at maybe it's $1 million, maybe it's 1.1 million, right? What'll happen is if I see that I can only sell it at $990,000, it doesn't make sense to price it at $990,000 because of the way people search. People don't find homes in the yards anymore. People don't find homes in the magazines or newspapers as often. They find it online. They find it through their app. They find it through different sources that are online. And because of that reason, price bridging is more important than ever. And by that I mean pricing on search bridges. It is statistically proven that when people type into different real estate sites, that when you are looking for a price, you're not looking for 900 to 964.
Right.
You're looking for 950 to a million, right?
Exactly. Right.
So example, holding on to my same example, at 970 or 990,000, you're not increasing it. But if you price it right at $1 million, even though it might be slightly overpriced, you're going to have everybody looking from $1 million to 1.1.
Right.
So you
Right.
increase the discoverability of your property, not just for brokers on the multiple, but for every other site that ports on an IDX feed. So
That's a
really
great
important.
point.
And I think it really does increase your searchability by I think there was a study done where it said it was 22 or 24% more viewership. So, I mean, that's a lot of people.
So
So to
what's
give you an
yeah.
idea, a lot of people these days, they use what they call, I guess, in the industry, charm pricing, where they'll price something at, $19.99. No, it's smarter to price right at 20, at least in the real estate market,
Right.
because of just the way that people search.
So what about that philosophy? I feel like some agents go the other way and they underprice the home, hoping to get multiple offers and have it go way over, right? They're pricing it strategically that way. So I guess maybe they're hoping for the lower end of the search. I mean, what's the thought process behind that? You guys,
I think that's mainly just depends on the micro market that you're in,
Okay.
because ultimately what'll happen is, I mean, if you're in Green Lake right now, that's one of the hottest places in Seattle for youth. And because you can't find many first-time home opportunities that are around $500,000 these days in the city, there's a possibility there. So if you undercut a house in that micro market right now, the market will overcorrect anyways, because it'll just enhance the discoverability by tenfold.
Right.
So ultimately, it just comes down to where you're at. Like I have a home in Edgewood coming on the market next week, and that's not a home I would underprice, because that's not as fast-paced market. When
Right.
you're looking at 3 or 4 home buyers per house versus up in Seattle when you have 40 home buyers per house.
Right.
So it really just comes down to the demographics of the area.
right. So speaking about demographics, we have a lot more of foreign investors coming in and purchasing homes, mainly for cash.
Unfortunately, cash buyers.
Which we do have a foreign national program at
Yes, we do.
Home Loans. However, so they're obviously they're not from here. They don't live here. How do we get your property in front of that demographic?
So I think the big thing and the big issue comes where not only are you trying to advertise your property well in using nice pictures, good videography, what have you, good advertising, but the issue comes of the lack of knowledge of to get the eyes of Asian investors even on your property, right? There's a huge misconception in the industry that you can just throw a property on the Northwest Multiple, or you can throw it on a Zillow or a Redfin or a Trulia or any of those other sites, and that those Asian investors can see it.
They can't see it?
If you're in China, you can't see that.
Really?
There's no way you can see it. You actually, what happens is you have to get yourself inside a domain that is actually originated from their country. So if you're looking for a Chinese investor, you actually have to be advertising through a site that is and has its domain origination in China. Wow. So regularly we will advertise through a site called Jiwai. And that really, and quite literally, means home overseas.
Like Chinese Zillow.
Yeah, it's Chinese Zillow, basically. Wow. You look at Zillow, they look at this. And because of that, we're able to get our properties in front of more people than other people can. And especially in front of the investors, because unfortunately, most people don't know that they can even do that. And because less people advertise on there, you get even more enhanced viewership.
Right. They're going to know now, though, because you just told everybody.
Well, I hope they do, because fortunately, right now, Seattle is #1 on most popular searched items for Chinese investors on that site I just said. But what's interesting is, so Avenue Properties, I don't know if you guys know much about it, but Avenue Properties as a brokerage was the only brokerage in the last Asian summit over in Shanghai.
Yep.
Wow,
and
that's
the
awesome.
only brokerage in all of Washington. The only ones that showed up, which is interesting because, I mean, a few other people said they'd be there. They never showed up. But what's interesting is because they're the most popular, we have the ability to really expose people's properties better and ultimately get them higher prices, which is what we're here for.
And we have a team that goes over back and forth to China, I'd say several times a year. I mean, Garth, I think you're going to be going over there at the end of this year.
Yeah, sometime at the end of the year. I think we're looking at probably like a November date that I'll be heading over to Beijing.
But it's such a great opportunity to be able to go over to where there are, the world's greatest Asian investors and actually present amazing properties that we have here in the Seattle East Side market and get those in front of actual investors. So it really is a good time. So,
that's cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. So aside from the Asian investors, well, let me ask you this. So getting the professional photography done, that must be really important, especially when you're dealing with buyers that aren't necessarily going to walk the property before, right?
Right. I mean, to me in this marketplace, if you don't have professional photography done, you're really doing yourself a disservice. If your broker doesn't get it done, then really you should fire them.
Right.
This
new broker.
Seriously, get a new broker, because ultimately pictures and videography is everything today. That's how your property is being found.
It's so worth it.
Nobody is going and driving the neighborhood anymore like they used to. Even if they're looking at the house that's around the corner in the same street as them, they won't even drive. They'll just pull up online and they'll type homes near me. Even though the house is around the corner, they won't drive it to go see it and pull a flyer. It doesn't work that way anymore.
Right. Now, do you think that is that dependent on the price point that the
Nope,
the house
not at
is
all.
in, or you think every
not
house
even a little
regardless?
bit. Yeah, every single house. If you have a $50,000 condo, you better have professional photography for that.
And are you
every
talking?
single
So,
thing.
what about the videography? Because is that more higher priced homes? Do you think? Than?
Usually I'd say yes,
Yeah.
because when you really get an exquisite property, you want to enhance the lifestyle of that. So we have pivoted in our marketing to really portray that to show what the lifestyle each home brings. So with that, we bring lifestyle videos instead of just your regular video that is photos that pan.
Right.
We'll bring in aerial shots, actors that show what it would be like to live in that home. Whatever brings that emotion to what really living in that space would be. And we like to kind of bring that to life, which is important. I mean, that and having videos really matters for your search engine optimization for all your social media platforms.
Really
Right. I was just going to say, so when you're searching social media, I'm sure you're going to get a lot more views on a video, right, than you are just on a still picture.
You do. and that's just how they operate the even just your timelines on things like Facebook. It's all correlated to your live feeds, your videos, or your pictures, and then words come last. So really, the more video you can get in front of people, the better for your home.
So do you do sound and everything with the video?
Yep, the whole thing.
Wow.
Cool music.
The whole thing. Nice music.
Do you have someone that choreographs it for you? Puts it
Yes,
all
we have.
together?
We
You
have.
a
Yes,
company
we
you
have.
use?
We have a great film company.
that's
They've done a great job for us, even helping with some new developments we got going on, which is going to be really cool too.
Yeah.
Wow, that's fantastic. So what about market research? Do you do a lot of market research before your listings, and how do you tie that into how you market the home?
So before I market any home, first you have to come up with a price, but then you have to figure out which type of buyer is going to be there, and you have to find where they're going to come from. And in my experience, 99% of the time they come from another broker. So,
oh, really?
Yeah. So what I like to do is I like to pull a list of the top, depending on the home, 100 to 500 brokers that bring buyers to that area for that type of home, which you can figure out doing market research as well.
Okay.
And I give them individual calls the day my home is listed. And because of that, I generate so much more interest
and
for my
a lot
properties.
of emails. Oh my
Yes,
goodness.
lots of emails.
We send out
Lots of
hundreds,
emails.
if not thousands,
Yes.
of emails,
Thousands of emails.
every single day. So
That's
Wow.
true.
yeah.
Wow.
That's awesome. What about Facebook advertising? Do you think that's beneficial?
You know, I think it can be beneficial depending on the type of home. Like if you have a condominium home that's a 55 and older home, right? Let's just say it would be really easy to target, because you can actually manipulate the ranges of the ages of the people that see it. So you'll actually only pay for the viewership of people who are 55
I was
and older.
just going to say there's probably not that many 55
There might
or
not
over that
be,
have Facebook.
but if you get in front of all of them, you'll get some people.
Right, they might know someone.
Right, and it's fairly inexpensive too, which is
Facebook
nice.
advertising.
Yes,
Yeah, it
at
is.
least for now it is. It's going to increase as soon as TV advertising realizes it's unsuccessful. But but that'll happen soon. And then I guess another thing I kind of wanted to touch base on is just this year. It's been a phenomenal year. I've been really happy to be a part of a new wave in real estate, which is Avenue Properties. It had its year anniversary just a few days ago. It was this week.
I just saw that. I saw your email.
Yeah. Congratulations to us.
Yeah,
no,
that's
we
awesome.
went we went from 6 brokers to 60. We went from one
amazing.
satellite office to 4.
Yep.
We closed over $400 million in sales in 1 year's time, which is impressive.
For the amount of brokers
And
we
then
have.
more immediately, there is us here at Ward Estates. I'm really happy to have been able to bring in Austin on some of my projects here, which has been a huge help for me. He's great at hustling, which has really helped a lot. Just to get things moving, which is great, because I have a problem with organization. He's pretty good at that. He keeps
We all
the
have our
schedule in mind.
strengths. Yeah.
But I guess, do you guys have any other questions about trying to get places sold, getting discovered, getting prices that are higher? What's kind of
Well, what
your
about
thoughts?
staging? We haven't touched on that at all.
Okay, staging. I think staging's always kind of an up there question. To me, it depends on the style of the home. Not just what style furniture you bring in, but depending on how large the home is, you might not want staging. If you have a studio condo in Seattle, I wouldn't necessarily suggest you bring in sofas. I mean, maybe just bring in some hand towels, or bring in some small pieces to make it feel like a home, but not add big pieces. So it really just depends on the space.
What about the client that's like, my house is going to sell in a day, so, why would I stage it?
Well,
Right? I mean, don't you get that a lot? Probably less people are staging now than they used to.
They are now, because they think that they can sell it quickly. But what they don't understand is that when they do sell it, and they sell it quickly, those are the same people that want to sell it themselves, unfortunately.
Right.
And the problem is that I run into is the people that I have conversations like that with, they're not realizing that what I bring to the table is making them more money. I mean, ultimately, yes, I charge a fee, but if you're going to you're going to pay somebody to bring you the buyer anyways. Right?
Right.
If you pay me to help represent you in the sale of your home, you're ultimately going to make more money with me selling it than you would if I don't.
Right.
It's like I give almost a free service in that you're making more than you pay me to do.
More than free.
Outside of the fact that you don't take on all that legal liability.
Yeah.
I mean, if you
Yeah.
don't present the proper forms and you don't give them the proper disclosures, I mean, you could be
You're putting
looking at
yourself at
lawsuits.
risk.
Yeah, they're putting themselves at risk for not taking representation, which I always advocate.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, we only have a few minutes left, so let's touch a little bit about you guys. You guys obviously are doing fantastic for being under 25. That's really impressive. But as a buyer or a seller, really, what sets you guys apart? Why should somebody work with you guys over another?
Hustle.
Legwork, hustle.
Yeah, you guys are going to work hard.
I don't
High
know.
energy, right?
Yes. You
Yeah.
don't find, well, first off, you don't find people our age in this industry.
No.
You just don't.
No.
And outside of that, you don't find people in our industry that wake up at 4:30 and start working.
Right.
We work from 4:30 to any time near about 9 p.m. at night.
I know you've called
And-
me.
I'm sorry.
I'm like,
I forget
I have
other
children.
people. I forget other people don't do that. But you don't become the best in the industry, lying around.
Right.
And our goal is to really set ourselves apart with really giving a white glove service, and that's how I've been able to grow a business that is, trades multi-millions of dollars of real estate every year. And it's not an easy feat to crack into the luxury market. And what I feel most proud of saying is neither I nor us, and when I brought him on, neither of us have connections in the development world, but
Right.
we've been able to crack into new developments.
Just by working hard.
By working hard and doing things the right way, and people catch on to that.
And
Well, that's awesome.
off market stuff too, definitely. I can't tell you how many times we have people saying, "Oh, we'll sell our house once we find the right house," and then they sit there waiting for something to come on market.
Yes, that's
and
another thing.
And then it comes on market and it goes in a day, but there is multiple offers and maybe they lost and they're putting it up to chance. Well, one thing that we do is we are able to generate a lot of off market stuff. So say you wanted a house that was a certain price range, and you want this, and you even knew the neighborhood. Well, since we know a lot of the top agents in the area, just by phone calls and emails, we are always able to generate off-market showings, which is no competition.
Right.
So
Well, that's definitely an
That's
added
another
value.
way to get in
Yeah.
front of the people. I mean, I know you guys were talking earlier about competing in multiple offer situations. You don't have that issue with us necessarily, because if you want to avoid that, we can find you something that isn't even listed because of the legwork and the hustle we're willing to give.
Well, that's great, you guys. Thank you so much for tuning into Financial Fitness Northwest. When we come back, we'll have the Riley Johnson team market update. Today, we're discussing the Fed rates and how it affects your interest rate. To find out about any topics discussed or any guests in studio, you can find us online at www.financialfitnessnw.com.